Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/campaign to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Let's hang out. Let's hang out. And let's talk about what legends are about. Let's hang out. And let's listen to two lesbians shout. Let's hang out. Let's hang out.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Let's Hang Out, the podcast that just wants to know, do you like me? Circle yes, no, or maybe, and pass this note back.
Yes. The answer is yes.
You have to fold it back up and pass it to my best friend and they'll give it to me at lunch, okay?
Okay, got it.
Okay. From the West Coast, I'm Lee Holmes Foster.
And from the East Coast, I'm Ellie Brigida. To those of you who have been with us through this whole journey, thank you as always for listening. If you're a new listener, welcome. We're excited to have you here. Here's what's happening this week. This week in the Lesdom. Hey everyone, we would like to introduce you to Kaylin Cervini and her new song, Like a Girl. She wrote it when she was beginning to realize she had feelings for a girl who she's now dating.
And we are so excited to share this song with you because, listen, you may or may not know about Ellie and I that, we love music and we especially love queer music. And so it's super fun. We are so excited to help tell you about a new artist that you might not have heard about who is literally coming out with this song, which is incredible. She wrote a whole song. The chorus of it is kind of a repetition of I never meant to like a girl. And this song is literally how she's going to be coming out to a bunch of family and friends, which I just think is so ballsy. And I love that so much.
So congratulations, Kaylin. You are incredible. We're so happy to share with our audience. So you can listen to Like a Girl out now on Spotify. Here's a little preview.
They say it's not a choice, but for me it is. And I don't know right now, I don't know. So hold me tight while I figure it out. It could take the night and I might let you down. I never meant to like a girl, ooh. But here you came and changed my world, ooh. So hold me if you wanna, touch me where you wanna. I won't push away, at least not today. I never meant to like a girl, ooh.
This Week in the Lesdom is a place where we can touch base each episode about things going on with the podcast or otherwise. We are so excited because tomorrow kicks off our Journey to the Heart crowdfunding campaign. So please, please, please head over there. We want to have a really big first day and you can support us on Indiegogo. So please, please, I'm just going to keep saying please because we need you to support us on our first day. It's a huge day for us.
We're so excited for everyone to hear some of the details about the story and some of the announcements that we have coming up, some of the, teasers, cast announcements. We're just really excited about this show. That's all.
If you want to sign up for that Indiegogo, you can go to bit.ly/support Journey to the Heart.
Incredible. We also want to tell you about some things going on in the Greater Les universe. I'm going to start with there is a new sci-fi show that many people have tuned us into. We're very excited about it. I've already started watching it. Ellie's going to start any day now. Catching up. It's called Astrid and Lily Save the World. And listen, if you're a fan of any kind of supernatural superhero, if you like Buffy, if you like Batwoman, if you like all of those things, it's supernatural, demons, portals to other dimensions. There's like spooky things happening, but even more than that, it is two female protagonists who are both fat in a way that is handled so like in such an uplifting, healthy way, and it's incredible. And B, one of them is very queer and has two moms, and I just love her so much. So if you haven't started watching it, you can get all of the episodes. They're all kind of on demand on the Sci-Fi's website. You can catch up. The season's not completely finished releasing yet, so there is still time to catch up before the season ends, which probably is going to be really important if we want to see it get renewed. So, Ashton and Lily, Save the World. Check it out.
Watch it. Also, speaking of watching things that are gay, the Dairy Girls trailer just came out for the new season. I am obsessed with Dairy Girls. I cannot wait to watch it again. That show has me in stitches every time.
It's so funny.
It's so funny. So I cannot wait to have more Dairy Girls on my screen. It's going to be so good. That's what's happening this week. Back to you, Ellie and Lee.
Thanks, Ellie and Lee, and welcome back to episode 15 of season 5, Queer in Headlights.
So excited. How many of you feel like a queer in headlights? You don't even really know what we're talking about, but I know you feel like a queer in headlights.
You know what we mean. You know what we
How
mean.
many of you have had that look of extreme panic when you're trying to make a move on the girl that you like? A lot.
Or just that frozen, like nobody's gonna make a move. So listen, here's how I'll introduce this week's episode. We needed a topic. I just caught up on this season of Batwoman. And if anybody listen, spoiler alert if you haven't finished the season of Batwoman yet. But I am so here for Ryan and Sophie together. But this season was like the slowest burn, right? Where
Yes.
it's that endless, like, the eye contact that's a little too long, the flirting, I'm gonna, pretend to be your girlfriend on this recon mission at your mother's. Neither of us will they, won't they? Who's gonna say anything? Nobody's saying anything. They're just awkwardly flirting. And it just felt like a gay vibe. It was a gay
to be
mood.
fair, it was a gay mood because they're gay together.
They're so gay together, and that's like a whole separate topic on how much they're super gay, and I love them together. But I just feel like it's like we have our Discord chat with our patrons. We have a whole like dating relationship channel in there. This is something that comes up all the time.
Yeah.
I have a friend. We're very close. We're cuddling. They say stuff like this. What does it mean? That this kind of stuff comes up all the time. It was also bringing me back. And listen, this is when you know it's like a real throwback, is when we mention the site that shall not be named. But does anyone else remember, like, way back in the After Ellen days? Did you ever go on the forum on After Ellen, Ellie, like the message boards?
I think that was even before my time, Lee. I'm sorry you're dating yourself.
Oh man, this is I am so dating. Happy birthday to me. I'm old. Way back in the day, After Ellen, before it became like the cesspool that it is, had a whole forum message board, and one of the sections of that message board was just this. Like, I swear to God, that's all it was. It was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of little tiny baby gays coming on to say, let me give you like a 3-month breakdown of every interaction I have had with my best friend over the like dated, time-stamped entries of like, on this day we hung out and they went and bought my lunch, and when they bought my lunch they got me my favorite drink because they heard me talk about it the day before, and then I was sick and they brought me soup, and then at school they held my hand this day, and then this, and it was I remember that board so vividly because it was the kind of thing where it was like, you'd be bored one day, you'd like click through, you'd read some of them, and then you're like, oh fuck, now I'm invested. Like now I'm gonna have to come back in a week and like
if they're together
find
or not.
out if it actually worked out. And you'd get like people would come back and update, and then you'd get like updates as their day. It was insane. But
Did
point
you
of
write
all
on
of
this
this
board,
is,
Lee?
No, I didn't.
Mm.
But my point, well, listen, we're going to talk about it, Ellie. I do not think this is a problem you or I specifically have, but that's why I think it's going to be interesting for us to dissect this.
Like, okay.
I just feel like it's something that we hear all the time, right? Like,
It's
this
out
seems
there.
Yeah.
It's out there somewhere. I have never. No, I'm just kidding.
This is a ubiquitous gay problem that we just sit frozen in incapacitated helplessness. I don't know.
Yes. Okay, yes. So I think, and I think the point is right. We're going to talk about it. Maybe talk a little bit about why that happens and like why it's so common. And I feel like one of the first things about why it's so common is why so much freaking lesbian shit is so common. And it's just heteronormativity.
Oh, yes.
Which sucks, but it's true. So like, because I was thinking about this, I was talking about some of my like first boyfriends the other day, like my boyfriends in high school. And to be fair, I'm pretty sure I made the first moves in high school also, which is hilarious. But it mostly was because I purposefully chose very passive men. Like the more aggressive men scared me. You know what I mean? So I was like, let me choose the very nice boy who like will be.
Do you mean men who might actually have been into you? Like men who might have expected that like you would return
men
that
who,
affection?
Yes, men who would expect that I would sleep with them. I would avoid with all. I would stay far away from those. Like I was like, give me the high school virgins. Like I love you. I was a high school virgin as well. I'm not shitting on high school virgins.
Sure, me too. Yeah.
All right, Lee. Whatever.
What?
Sorry you came out before all of us. We're having such a great time, and I was just kissing boys and being like, "Stay away."
Sorry, I was getting laid in high school, Ellie. Listen.
Sorry, I was having the most meaningless makeout sessions of my life in high school. And that was it. Draw the line.
I like how we had a whole episode dedicated to like keeping the romance and spice alive, and we were like, PSA, don't listen if you know us. And now we're like, remember getting laid in high school?
Well,
anyways.
you said it. You said it. I did not. You went there.
I'm blaming you anyways.
Yes, but my point is, I do feel like in heteronormative relationships, you're told from a young age as a young woman, like the man makes the first move. You know, like it's very unladylike for a girl to make a move. You wait for the man, and all the things you're taught about like how to get a boy to kiss you are like, make sure you're looking at him in the right way and like hold his gaze as long as you can until he decides to kiss you, you know? Like, and that's bullshit, first of all. But I just feel like that's like the first layer of stuff that we have going on is that we're so used to, if you like were in high school, not like you, Lee, but if you were straight in high
The
school.
running theme of this episode. How many times can we mention Lee getting laid in high school? Someone keep a counter for us, okay? Just let us know.
That's
after.
the drinking game for this.
Email us the count. God,
I also
the drinking
hate
game.
that you're
Every
using
time.
the term getting laid. Like that is making me
It
so
feels like
uncomfortable.
the best way to do this.
But it's okay.
I'm sorry. What euphemism would you prefer, Ellie? We'll switch to that.
All right. No, actually, no. Getting laid. Is
Yeah, no,
fine.
please say a better one because that's the best I came up
That's
with.
the best one. That's the best one. Being sexually active. That sounds too clinical. I don't know. But either way, point is Lee gets laid. All right. But I do feel like we have that layer to start, right? Where like you're sort of conditioned to be the passive partner.
Can we talk about that too? Because I love that this is where you're starting. Because I feel like, listen, it's been a hot minute since I got a chance to bring up JoJo Siwa.
Oh my god.
And here's
I was not ready for this in this episode.
I can tell. Here's how I'm going to bring up JoJo Siwa. Remember with me, listeners, remember this year when, well, actually, I think it was last year. Regardless, remember when JoJo Siwa did the Prince Charming dance and I, like, lost my goddamn mind that week and, like, could not get over it. And I feel like that's because... am I the only one who used to watch all of these super heteronormative Disney movies, whatever, cartoons? And I think you're exactly right, Ellie, right? That it's always this thing of like, and then Prince Charming rides in and sweeps you off your feet. And I'm like, what fucking bullshit, because I always wanted to be the one doing the sweeping, and like I'm a fucking 5'2" tiny small, and we all know this, and like it just sets up some really unrealistic expectations. But I still that's always what I wanted, you know? Like
yes.
That was the role I wanted to play. And maybe this will factor into when we talk about like why this is not a situation we have each found ourselves in that often. But yeah. I'm not the only lesbian, right?
No. You're not the only lesbian. I will say that from my perspective, I never was like, oh, I want to be Prince Charming. That was never really like what went through my brain.
Listen, some of us just look good in like suits, and
but yeah,
you know,
I
you
understand
just should
that.
be sweeping people off their. I don't know.
I get it, but I don't know.
Some of us want epaulets, you know. I don't know what.
Get those epaulets. But yeah, for me, I feel like I'm actually trying to think of like why I became such a like an assertive partner in like all of my relationships in terms of like, well, maybe not in my like relationships as they went on longer, but like I pretty much was always the person to make the first move. And maybe it's like because I'm like so gay, and number one, so gay, and also just like we all know this, I'm not trying to be a dick, but like very confident.
Yeah, we don't all have the self-confidence of God, Ellie.
Yes.
Listen, if I got laid in high school as, like, that's going to be my claim to fame this episode, yours is just having, like, a rock-solid sense of your own self-confidence.
Yeah. Because I feel like, and I completely understand this, like, I feel like there's a self-consciousness that you're, like, scared to make the first move because you're concerned that the other person is not going to reciprocate. I completely like that. That's valid. I've just never felt that. But I know that's so bad. It's so bad. But it's like I feel like okay. But I feel like I make the move after I've gotten certain signals back. Right? So it's like not like I'm gonna make the move like at before I've even gotten any like sort of indication that this move will be reciprocated.
Have you ever not had the signals back, though? Have they ever not been reciprocated, Ellie? Let's be honest.
I can't remember.
Now I'm just being a dick to you. It's fine.
I can't remember a time when they have. I'm sorry. That's such an asshole. That's so... I can't.
But I kind of love it.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's hard to think of it.
I'm just here to build you up. You know that.
Thank you. But I feel like, okay, I would just like to clarify. That's like with the first move, and I don't know, maybe I also just surround myself with people who like I have one particular friend that I think about that like, I feel like, because in our Discord chat, people are talking mostly about friends, right? Like, oh, they have these friends and they have these feelings for their friend, and like, they're getting these sort of signals from them. I'm like, they're cuddling with them, they're holding their hands, blah, 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 right? So I also feel like there is this sense of like, a lot of the times, like certain levels of things will be reciprocated, but you're just nervous that like the next level won't be. So like for me, like I just feel like kissing has always been easy, but I do feel like that next level is not as easy, right? Which is like, and I mean more like emotional level. I'm not talking about getting laidly, but like if you're really
Wow. Just
if you're
snuck that one in there.
yeah, if you're really interested in someone, that's I think when like for me at least, that's when the self-consciousness comes a little bit more
Mm.
through. Like if I'm actually interested in like seriously pursuing a relationship with that person, that's when it becomes a little heavier. So I think for me too, it's also just like the fact that I just like making out with people. So I was like, this is easy and fun. And like bam, bam. But like I feel like a lot of the people who are writing on the chats or writing in the Discord, they're more emotionally invested before they kiss someone.
Yeah.
And so that emotional investment is what's like really stopping them in their tracks, which I can understand. So I don't
See,
want to
but-
like completely be like, yeah, it's just been easy, easy, easy. Like
But this is where I think it's so funny because I feel like I thought this would be an interesting topic for you and I to talk about because I know, I mean, I know going in that both you and I do not super have a problem being the person to make the first move. But I feel like we come at it from such different perspectives because it's so funny listening to you be like, I just wait until there's like reciprocation of the signals and it's always there. And I'm like, that's so funny because for me, I'm like, I want to sweep someone off their feet. And my expectation always is 1000% that like nobody's ever going to be into me back.
Mm.
But that is not the point of it to me.
So what's the point?
Well, the point for me has always been that I feel like it is pointless to have feelings for somebody and not be willing to tell them about it. Because when you like somebody, it's because you think they're great. And I'm like, why would you not want to tell somebody that they're great and make them feel how great it feels when somebody's into you? Like,
Yeah.
that's the epaulets speaking. Listen.
Sometimes I forget we're both Pisces.
Well, there is,
And
I mean,
'cause I
there is
do-
that, sure.
Well, because I'm just saying, like, I understand from that perspective because you're coming at it from a, like, this is good for the other person.
Yeah, yes.
For
yeah,
For me
I'm
to
a
say
giant
this-
fucking sucker. Let's
Yeah,
put it that way.
For me to say this to them, this is good for that other person, not like this is good for me personally.
Right, because my expectation is never that it that it will be. Like, has never been my expectation going in.
I'm curious though, like, have your results been the opposite of your expectations?
I mean, it's not like come on, let's be honest. My dating history is pretty small,
Yeah.
right? So it's not like there's been that many opportunities. But I mean, I have like my friend in high school, when I came out because I started having like very, very strong feelings for one of my best friends. Did tell her
Classic.
what that did not work out, helped set her up with her boyfriend. I mean, listen, when I say I'm a giant sucker, I'm sincere. I really mean it. Like, I'm that asshole, right? Who will be like, I just want her to be happy, like a moron. So
It's okay.
there's that. And then Jess and I, we were kind of set up. I don't remember who officially made the first move. And Kelsey, obviously, I told her. So, I mean,
Yes.
I would say it's, hit or miss, 50-50. I don't know. But I did okay.
Yeah, you did good.
It worked out. It worked out. Let's put
Yes.
it that way.
I would also say there was, as I'm thinking back on it, so for context, gentle listeners, I came out when I was 21 years old, and I went honestly so hard because I had so much pent up sexual frustration. Because I literally
From only hitting on high school virgins.
yeah, like I
Yeah.
literally did nothing till I was 21 years old, right? And I'm like, so I was just like balls to the freaking walls, like, I, and And I was
Ellie had so many years of not getting laid in high school to make up for everyone.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. So my situation, I think, was like a little different. Not different, but that's where I was coming from. And so but then I was in college and I kept hitting on straight girls. And the annoying thing about straight girls for me was that they would always make out with me. And like multiple times also.
Yeah.
Like not like a one time and then they're like, "Oh, that was a mistake." It'd be like every freaking time I would see them, they'd be like, "Ellie, my makeout partner." And I'm like, "Are you actually straight?" It was that was a lot. That was a lot.
Are they
So-
still straight? All of them?
No. No. But it was tough. It was tough. It was
But
so
that's
much.
a date. See, that is the danger though of the
That is the
selfless Pisces trap. Is that then? Yeah, you end up just becoming the ego boost for someone else, right?
Exactly.
No one
And
wants
it
that.
was definitely, I was their ego boost when like the stupid boys at college weren't paying attention to them. You know? And
Yep.
so it's not like I don't want to be like, it's all positive that, wow, I got to make out with so many people because they always said yes. But it's like, were they saying yes for the reasons that I wanted them to?
Yeah.
You know? But I think to another point of like why people get paralyzed is because of that, right? Is like, okay, especially if you're younger, more people have not figured out their sexuality. Hopefully it's better now. So all you youngins out there, I hope you're having the grand old time. But like there's that feeling of like, okay, if I make this move, is this person going to reject me? Not even necessarily because they don't like me, but because they are straight, they are not interested in women at all, and like, am I gonna get rejected in that way? And like
Well-
the more times you get rejected, the scary, like the more it like hits you that you're gonna get rejected again.
The more it hits you, and also I think what you're touching on, because we're getting into, I think, a big reason that this is such a stereotype, right? Like, there's the heteronormativity aspect of it, sure. There's also the part of it that I think gets really tricky, and that I think especially for queer people in this situation leads to the most like deer in headlights-ness of it, which is it is actually very common for straight girls to send really confusing signals. And they send confusing signals for a lot of different reasons, but one of them, I think, is exactly what you just said, is you get that person who is giving you attention, who is building up your ego, who is not scary, they're not pushy, they're not too aggressive.
Oh my God, Lee.
What?
That was my karma.
What? You became the high school
I
virgin.
became the high school virgin.
I'm so sorry.
Oh my God, I just had that revelation. I was the high school virgin for those straight girls.
This week's episode of Therapy brought to you by Let's Hang Out. No, but I think it's true because I mean, listen, we have seen this it is, as much as I'm gonna say, oh sure, we're always willing to put ourselves out there and it's worked out, but also sometimes it doesn't. And I
Yes.
think that is a big part of that fear as well, is it is not uncommon, especially when you're younger, right? Like, especially when you are high school, college age, guys kind of suck, they're terrible boyfriends, and it is not uncommon for straight girls to like the attention and care and interest that their friend who's very clearly into them will give them, whether or not they are interested in return, right?
Yep.
And that's where you get that dangerous line of like, I want someone to cuddle with, and I want someone to tell me I'm pretty, and I want someone like, and it gets into that unclear area where you're like, are they actually into me, or am I their high school virgin?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, you could be their high school virgin. I don't know, but I mean, I've had so many friendships like that. And like before, the thing is, I think for me too, when we talk about like just go for it, right? I was in the closet and like basically dating so many of my friends. And so once I came out, I think I was so like against that. Like I was like, I was in the friend zone, not even like I was in that like lesbian friend zone, not even knowing I was gay with my straight girlfriends. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think when I came out, I went like above and beyond to be like, if I'm into this person, I'm gonna try to kiss them because I need to see if they are treating me like a straight friend
Yeah.
or if they actually want to be lesbian with me. So I would like get that out of the way like so early. Do you know what I mean? And then I still did get stuck in that trap where like they'd be like, "Oh, well, I really like kissing you, but I'm still straight." And you're like, I thought I had solved this problem by kissing you, you know? So for me at least, I think that was a big catalyst of being like, do not trap yourself in that. Like I could not handle being trapped in that. So I was like, get out as quick as you can. Tell someone you have feelings for them. I also feel like, you know, I'm saying kissing, but like the bigger thing I think too is like if you really have feelings for someone, seriously just like telling them is
Mm-hmm.
I think even sometimes scarier than just being like, "Oh, isn't it crazy we make out sometimes?"
Ha,
Like,
so weird. So kooky and fun of us.
yeah, like I can't believe like we always do this, right? And you're just like, "Oh my god, just say it." So yeah, I feel like for me that's like always been if I get to a point where like the feelings are so intense that it's like I cannot ignore this. I'll just like I have to say something. Because for me, I'm like, if I don't say something, I'm gonna like literally keep this intense feeling going on and I'm like wasting my time in a way.
Mm.
Right. Or also like, I mean, that's happened with a lot of my friends where it's like, I don't like I don't feel like I won't feel like I'm wasting my time if we have a conversation and you literally say to me, I don't want to date you. Then I'm like, okay, cool. Now I know where we stand. Now we can be friends. But whatever we were doing before was way too confusing.
So here's what I wanna ask. Because obviously we're having this conversation sort of for the people who have a harder time putting themselves out there, right? What would you say, because you started by talking about when you see things being reciprocated, right?
Yes.
When you feel like you're getting that interest back. What are the things that you would look for to decide, is it being reciprocated or not? How would you tell that you would be willing to put yourself out there and have that conversation? Because we can talk about the conversation separately, but I'm curious, what would be the things you're looking for?
Great question. Okay, I'll say like before anything physical because like I swear
Yeah.
to God, I have had times where I'm literally sleeping with my friends and then I have to be like, are we dating? Like, so that's, you know, that's an easy sign to read.
Can you pull your tongue out of my mouth for a hot second?
Yeah.
When you talk?
I'm like, this is probably a thing. But like those first signs, I still do think that cuddling is a good indicator. Okay? I know it can still feel a bit complicated, but if I'm starting to like be pretty physically intimate with let's say I'm starting to be pretty physically intimate with a new friend, like someone that I've recently met and that that I know is single, that they act if I'm in a like group of friends and I see that they act differently towards me, like if they're more physically intimate with me than they are with the people around us,
Mm-hmm.
that I would say is a good indicator. So I'm saying like holding hands, like you're on a couch with all your friends and they're like really close to you compared to everyone else. You know, like those kind of things. But I think you can also pick up on like Are they like constantly talking to you? I know, like, I'm like, this is gonna be whatever, but I'm like, because I'm like, me and Lee talk all the time, but like, but I knew that was
Yeah, but we've already covered our platonic soulmate-ness, Ellie.
Yeah,
we're pretty comfortable in that.
Yeah, we already covered our boundaries, and like, I literally like knew you were married. I had a girlfriend. Like, there was nothing, you know what I mean? So like, I don't want to say like you constantly talking. That's it. But I think you can read the signs of like, if you're constantly talking to this person and like the conversations are like a little bit flirtatious, I think you can see that there's like a little more there.
And the flirtation part is such a big part of it too, because that's the other thing. Listen, as we talk about me and the giant sucker that I am, to a certain extent, I am, but I am just like that. I like for the people that I care about to feel good about themselves, right? Like, you've been friends with me for a long time, Ellie. This is not news to you.
True.
So, but have you ever felt like I'm flirting with you when I do it?
No. Literally,
like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, there's
right?
so
Like,
clear boundaries. Like, I would never ever think
different. Yeah, like there are ways you can compliment people, you can build people up, you can do all sorts of stuff, and it is still not flirting. Man, like, if you can't tell when someone is flirting with you, like, it's very much more pointed than that, right?
Yes.
Because, like, and I feel like, to me, the difference is, like, complimenting somebody is about them. Like, flirting is also about you. Like, you want them. You want them to notice what you are doing. Like, there is intention behind that, you know? Like, somebody can give you a compliment, and that does not mean that they're into you.
Yes.
But how they give you that compliment,
how
and
they say it,
how they're like catching your eye when they do it, and how they're holding that gaze, and how close are they standing to you, and are they giving you that compliment while like rubbing the back of their neck a little? And I mean, come on, like,
yes, it's obvious.
Pick up on that stuff, right?
It is obvious. But I will say, because I'm thinking, like, what if there's two? Because here's what I think that's very accurate and easy to decipher when one of you is more forward than the other.
Yeah, that's true.
What do you get when both of them are not forward? That's why I just feel like you have to just like, there's gonna be a moment where you might have to take a little bit of a leap of faith, right? Like, and be like, I think I'm reading this signal. Maybe I'm wrong, but I need to see if I am.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. And as we head into Thanksgiving time, I want to start by thanking my wife, Kelsey, who has not only listened to just about every episode of this podcast for 8 seasons now, but who also is the only reason I'm able to make time to record it every week. She takes the kids, gets them dinner, and gets them ready for bed, just so that Ellie and I can come on and yell about gay things into each other's faces for an hour. So here's a reminder to send some thanks to the people you're grateful for in your life, including yourself. I've been in therapy for a long time now, and one thing that's so important about therapy is how it teaches you to be more intentional. And being intentional about gratitude and how to show that to the people you appreciate is just one of the many benefits that I've gotten from therapy over the years. If you've been thinking of starting therapy, consider giving BetterHelp a try. I know how hard it can be to find time for regular therapy, and BetterHelp is designed to be flexible and convenient for your schedule. You can fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. If you want to start being more intentional about gratitude in your life, visit betterhelp.com/letshangout today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/letshangout.
Let's hang out.
For many businesses, the holiday season can be both an exciting and stressful time. With so many balls in the air, one thing you definitely want to know you can rely on is how you're selling your products. And with Shopify, you can rest easy knowing it's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And when it comes to successful brands like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, an often overlooked secret is all the things that go on behind the scenes that make selling and for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, if you take a peek behind that curtain, you'll see that Shopify is what makes it all possible. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, so that's more happy customers and way more sales going. It's true all the time, but especially this time of year, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Realm merch with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm. For many businesses, the holiday season can be both an exciting and stressful time. With so many balls in the air, one thing you definitely want to know you can rely on is how you're selling your products. And with Shopify, you can rest easy knowing it's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And when it comes to successful brands like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, an often overlooked secret is all the things that go on behind the scenes that make selling and for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, if you take a peek behind that curtain, you'll see that Shopify is what makes it all possible. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, so that's more happy customers and way more sales going. It's true all the time, but especially this time of year, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Realm merch with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
Streaming December 12th on Peacock. Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie are back.
That's hot. Loves it.
For a show-stopping reunion that will prove putting on an opera is anything but simple.
We're really good at this.
One thing's for sure, they won't be upstaged.
Good to have you back. Come on, we've got a show to do.
Paris and Nicole, The Encore, a 3-part reunion special, streaming December 12th, only on Peacock.
Because the only way you're going to, 10,000% figure it out is if you say something and ask.
Yeah.
Right? So I just feel like when you're talking to someone, you can feel the vibes. But I also feel like there's some people that cannot feel the vibes. So I just want to, I'm just saying, I just want to say to those people, because they're probably listening, what the fuck vibes are you talking about?
Okay. Let's name. Can we put some concrete things out of the vibes? Because I think you mentioned a couple for sure, the cuddling, the physical proximity, especially if it's happening just with you.
The time of night that they contact you. That is legit. If they are messaging you late at night constantly, you are the last thing they're thinking about before they go to bed. That's a thing.
Yep. I would also say it's a really hard thing to describe, but it's because it's almost like nothing happens. But do you know the eye contact, nothing happens? You're both, there's just that beat of just too long of a pause where you're both trying to suss something out. That doesn't happen with your friends. Let me just put that out there, okay? If you are into your friend and they are not into you back, right? And you catch their eye and you're oh, is it happening? There's a moment, our eyes are meet, and then they just look away and there's nothing that happened for them.
Then it's probably
then
not.
It's not mutual. But when you just you both catch each other's eye and it just feels like it goes on
a little too long.
A little too long, and you both don't know what should be happening next, and you're both still maintaining eye contact.
That's gay.
And if you both feel a little awkward after it because you're both sitting there wondering if you're both reading too much into it. That moment, that's gay.
Yeah.
That's gay. You
That's
should have
gay.
a conversation with that person and be like, hey, what is the deal? I am very into you.
Yeah. I mean, and I would say too, like, maybe we should talk a little bit about like what are the scripts to say. Like sometimes people need a template.
Wait, sorry,
You know what
I thought
mean?
of one more. And then we can talk about scripts.
Yeah.
Okay. The other one I would say, and this is maybe going to be a little specific for me as a person, but I feel like if you have somebody who does things that are very specifically for you, like if there's a difference between like, oh my god, we are best friends and we hang out all the time and we love to watch movies and cuddle together, and I don't know what that means. That's a little
We know what
different.
that means still.
Well, listen. 80 plus should have been gays later.
Yeah,
we know what
sorry.
it means.
Yeah.
But I do think that there is a difference between that and they saw something at a store and it made them think of me, and they brought me a little present and left it for me to find, and like didn't even say anything about it. They just want to do stuff specifically for you. That's like, that's getting into some territory of some feelings happening, right?
Yep.
Like, they're not doing it because it's a joint thing. They're not doing it because it's like, this is what we do when we hang out. This is like, they are
Very
clearly doing
specifically
stuff
for you.
specifically for you.
I
Shit's
think-
gay.
Yeah. I think too, like, if you know this person, like, I feel like this happens so often, right? Where it's like a friend, right? If this is a friend who you really have feelings for, you know what they do. Like, you know how they operate, right? Like, so maybe you do have a friend who literally brings every single person in your friend group a gift when you see them, right? I don't know, right? But if you know that that person doesn't do that for anyone except for you, that's why I'm saying, like, if they're physically affectionate with every person in your friend group, cut that off the list. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
We understand they're a physical person, right? But it is like, are there things that they only do for you? Like, very intentionally. Like, just consider that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's for sure. You're like, this is different. Or if there's a person that you know who's like so crazy talkative with every other person, and then they're with you and they're like shy and awkward. Maybe there's something interesting there. Or I don't know. There's just, if you know them well, you know their patterns, and you can notice when things are slightly different with you. Like, that's a sign. And that's
when
a sign.
when you do notice,
here's what you do.
let's dive into it. What do we do? What's your script, Ellie?
Okay, so
Ellie's
when-
like, I kiss them.
yeah, to be fair, yes, but no. No, oh my god, I was so bad when I was single, but
I put my mouth on their mouth.
it was fun, but it's fine. Yeah, I would just
To be 21 again.
I know, right? I mean, also it's just easier because you're like, want to dance, and then you like start dancing, and then you're like, oh, we're dancing, like, let's just kiss, see what happens. Yeah, that was a time, but let me get out of La La Land
Listen,
for
now
a
there's
minute.
masks in the way. It's very,
Yeah, it's
harder,
very,
you know?
very much different time. But I would say, like, here's what you say, right? And what I have said to people before, and like I said, that I have said to people and they have rejected me. So I don't want to be like, yes, they always say yes. I've said to someone like, hey, I've been thinking a lot about you and our relationship. I have pretty strong feelings for you, and I would like to see if we could be something more. What do you think? Very direct. And I'm also like, where are you at?
Yeah.
And then if they come back and they're like, hey, I really just like you as a friend, then you know. Then it's like, okay, fine. And then you can move on. Right? But that's like what I've said before. Or if I'm like actually like really, really There's been some like messy shit too. I'm just thinking like
you know that's what everyone wants to hear about. Come on.
they do well because I don't want them. I want them to feel like they're not alone. Like it's not easy to do this shit.
Yeah.
But I was literally like hooking up with someone, but it was like, you know, we're seeing other people at the time, right? Like she can see other people, I can see other people. And then 2 times, this is also like read the signals, everyone. 2 times we were out and she was with different people while I was also there. Okay? But I still was like, no, I really like her. Like, it's going to be
It's going to
great.
happen.
It's going to happen, right? Like, yeah. And then that, like, so I understand people also send mixed signals. She literally sent me a text message that was like, I just want to let you know that, like, I really like you a lot. Like, I would want to date you. And
Yeah, well, I can see how that, you know,
it was
could
very
really be
confusing.
misinterpreted.
It was very
you know?
confusing. So then I was like, you know what? After that, because that was like confusing. I literally was like, let's meet up for coffee and talk this out because there is way too much convoluted shit going on here. So like
that
sometimes
sounds like a person who likes the attention.
Yeah, like sometimes you just had to sit down and be like, all right, let's talk this out. And after we talked it out, we were like, all right, we're not going to do this anymore. And that's fine. And now we are still friends. So like we worked it out. We had to be very like, let's sit and chat about this. And I had to be like, you pretty much like fucked with my brain and that sucked. And we did take like honestly like maybe like a few months, maybe 6 or 7 months where we like were not really friends.
Yeah.
And then like 7 months later, she was like pulled me aside at a party and was like, I just need to apologize to you for everything that went down between us. And I was like, thank you for the apology. And now we can be friends. So like there's so many like different layers of like what could happen in interpersonal relationships. I just hate living in the in-between. So I'd much rather just be like, what is this? Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
What are your scripts, Lee?
Well, I guess what I would say my script is I think my script usually is to focus primarily on the other person, right? Because I think that's how this conversation has most commonly tended to go for me, is if I'm telling them, the reason I'm telling them sort of becomes the script, you know, is like, I think you're incredible and I love being around you and you're super like attractive and all of this stuff. That's how I feel about you.
Yeah.
And I would like you to know that.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think it depends on what you're hoping and or expecting to get out of that conversation.
Well, I would say in terms of expectations, I think the main thing is to not expect anything from the other person. And I think that's the way that it makes the conversation easier, at least for me.
As someone with crippling imposter syndrome, I'm real good at that part of it. My expectations are non-existent. They are 0. So I'm really good at going in with minimal, low bar expectations. And it's, you know, it's hard to be overly disappointed at that point when you expect nothing. It's fine.
I definitely have like mid-bar expectations, but even still, I'm like, but I feel like it's like, okay, I look at best case scenario, which is like, okay, if I have feelings for this person and they have feelings for me, like, all right, this is it. We're doing it. Exciting stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I guess worst case scenario, which I don't even feel like is worst. They're like, no, at least I have more information and I won't regret it. I think I just have always come from a point of like, I'll regret it if I didn't say something. And then like, I don't know. I think maybe it's like when you see on like TV or movies or shit or stuff like that like has been like drilled in my brain, you know, when they're like, I had such a big crush on you 5 years ago. Why didn't you tell me?
Right. Yes.
And
well,
like
and
that
listen,
is my like worst nightmare.
Here's the thing. Best case scenario, I got fucking married, right? I mean, like, here's the thing. I did not go into the very similar along those lines conversation that I had with Kelsey with high expectations. I went in with expectations of she is straight. She has never dated anybody in her life. And clearly is not going to be the type of person who just like, has this wild self-confidence, like, of just is going to be hitting on me and doing all of this stuff. But she was someone I had a giant crush on, and I was like, well, why would I not tell you that? Because if nothing else, I feel like that would be a good thing for you to have in your life, is the knowledge that I am that into you, right? Like, that felt important to me. And the end result is
you're married.
Now we've been married for over a decade. So, like, I'm not saying that is a guaranteed outcome. I'm just saying that is something I could have left on the table, right?
Yeah, exactly. You could have been like, well, she's straight, so
Right.
never mind.
So never mind. Because we were in that very same point of like, we cuddle all the time. We're sleeping over. I'm sleeping over in her fucking twin-sized dorm room bed every other night, like so gay. But at the time, I mean, I was very convinced this was just like a, one of those situations where I was like, who doesn't like having that attention,
Yep.
Like, who doesn't like that? I get it. I get why it's confusing. People like cuddling and people like feeling good about themselves, and they like being around people who make them feel good about themselves. I get that. But it is true that you don't know. You don't know if it could have gone anywhere. And you're absolutely right. That question of, are you going to realize, oh my God, actually, we both would have been totally into trying something that never went anywhere because neither one of us was willing to make the move.
Yep. And I just don't feel like I could live with that. And then too, like, I think there's, like I said, there's such a like, I've noticed people are just so scared of losing a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think, like, if they're actually your good friend, you will have such a better relationship with them if you get that shit off your chest.
Yeah.
Like I just think about, like, I mean, I'll just say her name, whatever. She'll listen and she doesn't care. She knows. But my friend Alexa, like, we had this like 6-month period of time when we were both single where we would go out every weekend. We would make out hardcore. Everyone thought we were together. Like, anyone who saw us was like, oh yeah, Ellie and Alexa, they're dating. Right? Like, we acted like we were dating. And I had a huge crush on her. And so that's like the friend that I was like, I have a huge crush on you, and like, I need you to know because we're basically dating right now. So like, why don't we just date? Like, that's like literally what I said. And she was like, no. And she's like, and that's fine, right? Like, and that's her choice to say no, right? And now we're both in different relationships, and we are at the places where I think we're supposed to be in our lives, and we are still best friends. Like, she is one of my number one friends. I can call her anytime I want, talk about my life. She gets me, like, and I just don't, if I hadn't said something, I think that like there would have been resentment building up. I would have had like these unresolved feelings for her. Like, I think it just would have dragged on so long to the point where like years later we wouldn't have the same friendship that we do.
You cannot keep resentment from coming into that type of relationship. Right? Because you're not being honest.
Exactly.
You're not being authentic, and it's happening in a way where it's on you, but you're going to blame them for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going to feel strung along.
Exactly. I'm like, I have such strong feelings for you, and you just like constantly make out with me every weekend and like tell me I'm pretty and blah, blah, blah. Why are you saying all those things if you don't want to date me? Right? And it's like, because
you never said you wanted to date me.
Because we didn't set any boundaries for this relationship. So like, I'm also just setting a new boundary in our relationship that like really honestly made our friendship so much stronger. So I'm just saying, like, if this is a person that's meant to be in your life and that you care about, like, having that conversation will not like push you apart. It might for a brief moment, like for a little bit of time when you need a little space to figure out what the new boundaries of where you're at. But like you will come back together in a way that is like the right and the best way for your friendship. So,
And it also
yeah.
frees up that energy to go find other opportunities.
Exactly.
Like, because the thing is, if you're stuck, it's why you're going to feel strung along. Because if you are just stuck in this loop with that one person, and it turns out that they're not actually looking for that, you are putting so much of your own energy and intention and heart and everything into this, and they're not even picking any of it up. And
Yep.
you're not, like, you could be letting other opportunities pass you by because you're just stuck, chipping away, holding on to
Hoping
something
that this will turn into
Right,
something
that,
that
like,
you
that-
want it to be, but it's not,
Yeah, and you could just free yourself to be open to those other opportunities. Listen, we cannot stress enough. Don't be a queer in headlights.
Don't,
We're both
please.
big fans of saying something, speaking your truth, saying where you're at, having those conversations. I think it's really important. That's all.
It is.
Listen, you know what I'm going to say? Because we have this one note on our very we don't really do
on our very chaotic
outlines.
outline. Yeah.
The few notes that we left ourselves, you talk about examples in the media. Like, are there times where we have seen good examples of this? Do you have examples in mind
Of queers in the headlights or
of people pushing past it? Because I have a couple that I love.
You go for it. I mean, I think like Imagine Me and You's the one that I think of the most. It's like they're so like in love with each other and they like won't say it and then they finally do and blah blah blah. But yeah, I just feel like it's just like that best friends kind of trope. You're probably like what, Pretty Little Liars. What else?
What I was actually going to say, well, because the first two that came to mind, just because they're the shows we've been watching the most recently. So I love how Batwoman handled this, right? Because they're kind of doing that. There's clearly emotions involved. They're flirting, but then fighting, but then because they can't really find each other's footing. And I love that, like, Sophie does just do the, like, put my mouth on her mouth, right?
Yeah.
Here's,
great
like,
move.
how about this? Get you out of your head. Here's where I'm at. And then is willing to talk about it as well, right? Love that. Good move. Put yourself out there.
Do it.
Kiss their face. Great choice. The other one that I was just thinking of, because we also just caught up on the latest season of Sex Education, is I love Ola and
Yes, I love them.
Lily, right?
They're so cute. Yeah.
Like, and same thing, like, that is such a cute fucking storyline. The way that Ola's like, wow, I'm realizing I have all of these feelings for my friend. And she does immediately the same thing that we're talking about, which is to be like, hey, putting this out there, this is how I am realizing about myself that I am apparently into girls. That girl is you. I'm into you. I want to make out with you.
What do you
also
think?
Kisses her. Well,
Yeah.
I'm thinking a lot of just they kiss them. You don't always have to kiss them.
Well, but I think there is like that, like you can either straight up go for it without saying anything before, just like that happens so much in movies. But you can set the scene, right? If you're gonna tell them that you're into them, and then you get a signal back where they're like, "Oh, go for it," That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. But also, oh my God, what's their name? Maeve and freaking Otis.
Yeah.
That's like the classic, like, you never said anything, and now we have to see them fucking go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And that is the most, I know they're in high school, but I just feel like
It's so frustrating.
one of the things I want to say really quickly before we end is like, it doesn't matter what age you are at, but I feel like the sooner you can start practicing this, like, the better relationships you're gonna be able to have, right? Because like, if you think about it as like I'm constantly like doing things that push me out of my comfort zone. I'm just like always wanted to like grow and do new things and like do stuff like that. But like what they say about that is like, you know, you have to start with one. You might not get a positive response in that first one, but the positive response is that you tried it. The positive response is you did it once and it'll be easier next time. Right? So like, I think if you can think like, okay, even if you're in high school and you're like, I really have a crush on my best friend, tell them. You might start dating your best friend in high school, but also maybe you won't. And then you at least have had practice in high school. So then you get to college and you're like, I have a crush on this girl. I'm going to tell her. And then that's your first girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I'm just saying, like, you have to start somewhere. Like, so don't expect that first time is going to be like, wow, I did it. And now I am married, like Lee. But
I'm
that
just
wasn't
saying
the
it's
first
not
time.
impossible, okay?
But that was not the first.
Listen.
But that was not the first time
No.
that you had done something like that, right? So even though you weren't expecting something that time, you had done it 2 or 3 times before.
And the fact that I had done it was probably why I was willing to do it again. If I had
Exactly.
not been absolutely like crashed and burned with my best friend in high school and set her up with a dude like a moron, would I have found my wife? Listen, existential questions that
Yes.
no one has an answer to.
No one has
But,
the
you
answer
know,
to, but
I think it is you're making a great point, Ellie. Great point.
yeah, everything is just practice. Like, nobody gets to be like not afraid of rejection by never being rejected. Does that make sense? Like, you're not
Yes.
afraid of it because you've literally experienced it and you're like, I guess I was rejected. That's what that feels like. On to the next. On that note.
Why don't more people hire us as inspirational speakers is what I want to know. Listen.
Guess I just got rejected. No, there's this I've been doing a lot of sales training because I'm working in real estate now. And one of the things that they say, which I really liked, it's like a financial thing really, but I think it works with everything, is like, okay, it takes 100 people to get one sale. And if one sale is $10,000, those 99 people that got you to that one sale, they're all actually valuable as well. Like, they factor into that final transaction. So don't think about them as $0. Think of them as, like, do the division on that. $100 each, right? Can't do math.
Math on the fly, quick.
So each person is $100 each. So I'm like, they're not money, but I'm just saying, like, each person that you tell is leading you closer to that person who's gonna say, yes, I like you back. Like, you'll never get to that person if you are never the person who says something. So
We're crushing this.
I like that.
I like it too.
Yeah. Also, every time someone says no to me, I'm like, thanks. You just gave me $100. And they're like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, did you just steal from me?
You gotta get one of those little keychains that just plays a sound, and you just gotta have a sound that's like cha-ching.
That's what I want to do. Like, get a little clicker. But like, it gets to the point where like you're excited for someone to say no to you, because that means, okay, now I'm just getting closer and closer to that yes. So it's all about mindset, baby.
And most importantly, if you do make the move and you do get a yes, please
know.
email us. We want to we want to hear all about it.
Please tell us everything.
I don't have that forum to follow these stories anymore, so just
we need them from you.
Send us your updates, please and thank you.
Ugh, I'll be so happy if that happens. Also, I'd be so happy if 2 Let's Hang Out listeners are just like flirting somewhere in the universe, and they're like, they both listen to the episode and they play it for their person.
Yes.
And then they're like, oh, yeah, did you hear
Ellie's
that?
writing fan fiction about our listeners right now is what's happening.
Oh,
live on air.
Did you hear that Let's Hang Out episode? Yeah, who are you going to tell you have a crush on? Yeah, this is my challenge. This is my challenge to you listeners. Tell somebody you have a crush on them this week. Or if you don't have a crush on anyone right now, tell somebody from like 2 years ago that you never told. Just be like, screw it. Hey, I used to have a crush on you. Just throw it out there.
If the lesbian community just like implodes this week,
it's because
it's
of
on
me.
us. It's on us. It's fine. We take full responsibility.
The Les Crush Out challenge.
Yes. Oh my God. Hashtag it. Quick.
Do it. All right, but let's go to our Q and Gay now that we've sent this challenge to you. Let's do it.
Q and gay.
Question number 1. Do you usually make the first move? A, yes. B, no. C, depends.
I'm going to say a yes. Yes, I do.
I also do. That is a yes on me.
We have so much in common, Ellie.
Yeah, we do.
Who would have thought, you know?
Who would have thought?
Question 2, what stops you from making a move? A, you're not sure they're gay. B, scared of rejection. C, heteronormativity. Or D, your friends.
Okay. I feel like it has to be the not sure they're gay for me. Because at this point in my life, I just can't handle that kind of rejection. That just like stings in a different way.
It does, because who even has the time to be straight these days, honestly?
Exactly. Then I'm like, how did I even meet
It really
this person?
ruins my
How did I-
worldview.
How did I even find this person who wasn't straight?
I refuse to believe anyone is straight, so don't ruin my day and tell me that.
That's it. All right. Question number 3. What's your go-to move? A, the can I kiss you? So you ask them a question. B, just go for it. Mouth on mouth. C, sneaky arm around the shoulder. That's more of a pre-move, but you know, like that, like you have a parrot on your shoulder. That kind of move.
Shoulder count. 1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4. Yep.
Or D, give him the eyes.
Well, none of these are super right, so I guess I'll go with the can I kiss you? Because Kelsey and I for sure had like basically that conversation.
Yeah, for me, I'm a just go for it kind of gal.
That feels right. That
Yeah.
feels right to me.
I really surprised Jana. She was not expecting it, but here we are.
Here you are.
She went for it.
Question 4, Ellie. Do you have a past friendship that you still wonder if it could have been more? Yes or no?
Okay, so that's a good question for me because no post-gay. Yes, pre-gay. So once I came out, I literally was like, I'm telling everyone, you know? But before I came out, I still have people who I've literally been thinking about this, like not just in like because I know about everyone else, right? Like I made it such a thing to know. I just need to know. Like I don't care, but I just need to know. Like I just
Do you
want to
write them out a little note? And would you have dated me?
Yes.
Senior year of high school.
I need to
Circle
know.
yes or no.
Yeah.
Mail it to them. Snail mail.
Yeah. I'm like, I just like knowing these things. And then I can be like,
because the questions eat at you. I mean,
Yes.
it's fair. They like gnaw away.
They do. So I still think about some of those things. So, and that was a long ass time ago. So ask them before it's too late. All right. Question number 5. What's the furthest sign where you still weren't sure if someone was into you? A, hanging out all the time. B, cuddling. C, making out. Or D, sleeping together.
I'm sorry,
Great.
it just cracks me up. It's like this is the most lesbian stereotype of all.
Yeah,
and
or
it
like,
just cracks me up
so
to be
we've-
like in
yeah,
bed
like-
together, being like, I can't tell
I
if she
can't
likes
tell
me.
Yeah. So we've been sleeping together. We moved in together. She adopted my cat.
I can't
I
tell if she's
can't
into
tell.
me.
Are
Yeah.
we dating?
I'm gonna say for me, it's B, cuddling. That's usually for me where I'm like, better bare my soul, so it doesn't get too far.
Yeah. That's tricky. Because I feel like it's a C for me.
Okay.
There's just been a lot of confusing makeouts where I'm like,
Straight girls, they'll mess with you.
they really mess with you. They really do. So yeah. Wait, also Lee, did you say yes or no on 4?
On 4?
On do you have a past friendship?
Oh, that's a good question. I didn't answer, I don't think. I don't know if I have a question about whether it could have been more. I do have a friendship from college that I still cannot decide whether she was a little bit more confused by our relationship
Yep.
or not. That like because it's not somebody that I had a crush on. I can't tell if she had a crush on me and like just couldn't quite figure that out.
Yeah.
I still have that question. Yeah.
I have someone from college too, and I'm like, I mean, I definitely had a crush on them, but I'm like, I just need to know. I literally, I don't know when I was going through all my pictures and videos for my 30th birthday, when I was like combing through my like history, I saw some pictures of us on Facebook, the two of us from college, that this person that I'm like, I really feel like we were dating. And I'm like, we were in love. And I just need to know if it was reciprocated.
You need to send me those pictures. Thank you.
The pictures are so it was the same shit. I slept over in her room every night. We snuggled. We got in a huge best friend breakup because I started spending time with another girl.
Sounds pretty gay, Ellie. Sounds pretty gay.
It was very gay. I just can't tell if like it was more gay on my end or not. But I need to know.
And I need you to send me those pictures. That's all.
I will. I have them I literally saved them on my phone so that I could show people and be like, look, she was gay, right? It had to be. Oh my God. What an episode. Remember, you can give us your own answers to this episode's Q&A questions on our Twitter at Let's Hang Out Pod.
Let me hear you say hip, 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 we're gay.
We love hearing from everyone. We love continuing to build this community. So we just want to shout out some of our favorite things every week. And this week, we want to shout out someone on Instagram, Zoom and Rainbow, who reached out to tell us about another Should Have Been Gay entry on our list. That is the 355. I know nothing about this.
Okay, so I will tell you more about it because I also didn't really know about it, and I feel like we need to know about it because they were like, how did they have this many badass women on here and none of them were gay together? So you have Jessica Chastain, Penelope Cruz, Lupita Nyong'o, Diane Kruger, like just so many.
I'm sold already.
Just so many hot women, and then they were just like, let's not put them together. So it might be something that we have to start watching, Lee.
Listen, I feel like we just burned ourselves with you again, but I'm like, a great cast that should have been gay, I'm in.
Yeah,
I'll do it again.
exactly.
I'll do it every time.
It also
I'm
has
never
like
gonna learn.
a 5-star out of 10 rating. So like
I'm never gonna learn though.
Yeah, it has not gotten great reviews, but I would still watch it if it's sort of gay. So we'll see.
Amazing.
But we always appreciate the recommendations. So keep them coming. Instagram, email, we love hearing from you. As always, we want to thank our Lesbian Jesus patrons, Mark Foster,
Jess Klaus,
Tanya Ferguson,
Jacqueline Rose Nishino,
Sarah and Julia,
Danny Gunlock Tamura,
Brittany Ray,
Alana Rosen,
Lizette Stye,
Stacy,
Adi Benitez,
Fiona W.,
Whitney Lennon,
and Jennifer Trujillo.
And our King Princess patrons, Amy and Ellen,
Leah Hendley,
Liz Chen,
Julia Gonzalez,
and Ashley White.
Thank you. As always, we could not continue to do this show without you and all of our Patreon supporters.
Remember, you can also find us on all the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and TikTok at Let's Hang Out Pod.
You can email us at letshangoutpod@gmail.com.
Or check out our website at letshangoutpod.com.
You can also check out our new website for our production company, Dollar Bean Productions, at dollarbeanproductions.com.
Whatever app you use for podcasts, make sure you subscribe so you'll be the first to know when new episodes drop.
And make sure that you have listened to all of the episodes of The Flame. It is up on any podcasting app, and you should make sure you listen to that before our next musical comes out.
We're also posting videos on our YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe at youtube.com/letshangoutpod to catch them.
If you want to help support the podcast, the first way you can do that, that's easy and free, is to leave us a rating and a review on the Apple Podcast site. It helps people find the podcast, and we love reading the reviews.
If you want to support us and join our Patreon family, you can do that at bit.ly/lespatreon. We did basically this entire episode based on chats we had in our Discord. So if you want to join our Discord and talk about relationships, talk about gay movies, have Patreon-led watch parties, we're going to be having a watch party in the next few weeks for our next Les Essentials. We will keep you updated on that, but you can join at bit.ly/lespatreon.
If you want to help support us making more podcast musicals, you can support all of our efforts for The Flame and for Journey to the Heart at bit.ly/theflamepatreon.
If you want to get some Let's Hang Out merch, you can get that at bit.ly/LesShop. We have mugs, we have shirts, we have crew necks, we have all kinds of stuff on there. We have totes you can bring to all of the conventions that are starting to pop back up. You can get that at bit.ly/LesShop.
If you want to follow us individually, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at LSH Foster.
And you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Ellie Brigida. With that, I'm Ellie.
And I'm Lee.
And let's hang out again soon.
Let's hang out.
Hi, I'm Laura Cathcart Robbins, and I am the host and creator of the podcast Only One in the Room. Every week, my co-host Scott Slaughter and I invite you to join us and lose yourself in someone's incredible Only One story. We talk to real people dealing with issues like infertility, the death of a loved one, human trafficking, and women who, fake it. Oh, and we want to be fair, so we talk to celebrities too. Emmy winners like actor John Cryer, supermodels like Amber Valletta, and rock stars like Ryan Dusick. Everyone is invited to share their Only One story with our listeners. With 21 seasons and counting, we guarantee you that Only One in the Room has a story that you'll connect with. This podcast is for anyone who has ever felt alone in a room full of people, which is to say that this podcast is for everyone. Download Only One in the Room on Apple or Spotify today.